big summit in Washington yesterday, and our next guest was at that conference. She says that the government does need to be careful before dismantling the system and those giants, Fannie and Freddie. Susan Wachter is a professor at the University of Pennsylvania's Wharton School. She joins me now live from Philadelphia. Susan, what was your main takeaway yesterday? Was it that more government support is inevitable at this point?
Yes, absolutely, or continued government support in the short run. And then what was surprising was hearing from so many different sides the importance of continued government guarantees.
You know, and with those government guarantees, there seems to be two different tracks that I hear on this issue of what's going to be happening with mortgages. Wall Street seems to be anticipating some sort of help with refinancing, some sort of stimulative plan in the fall, yet from Washington it sounds like we're not going to see as much push towards immediate stimulus. Where's reality?
Well, the stimulative plan is there. Interest rates, mortgage rates are at all-time lows, and they're at all-time lows because of the government is in the system. The government is 90% of the mortgage system, which is why we have this historic lows, and that is the stimulus. It's not enough to guarantee a recovery, let alone a robust recovery in the housing market, but it certainly is enough to stop us from going back to where we were, which was free fall. That may be the best we can get at this moment.
So that refinancing boom is what you're anticipating coming as a result of just the Fed keeping interest rates low?
Well, let's not say refinancing boom, but certainly refinancing, and it's up, and that certainly helps somewhat. And it's about as good as it gets from interest rate perspective.
Mm-hmm. Do you expect, with the issue of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, you know, the decision was made to overhaul them later down the line. We may hear November, some say January, as to when they will be addressed in some real way. In the meantime, do you think that the government will loosen the rules so that it will be more able for the public to get mortgages from Fannie and Freddie?
I don't think so. You know, the key thing is that Fannie and Freddie and FHA are booking good business right now, and they're turning the corner towards profitability if the housing market holds up. And no one wants to threaten that in government. You know, now the government owns these entities, and they want to make sure that the business they're booking right now is creditworthy.
Yeah, I know you said things can't get better on the interest rate front, and then the presumption seems to be that on the congressional front, a stimulus package isn't really a point of conversation at this point in the recovery. But give me a sense of whether mortgages and record low rates are actually going to mean anything for buying, because even though those availability for refinancings and the like, they're not leading through to the kind of transactions many would hope for.
Absolutely. The market is going nowhere. But you know, it's really the key here is jobs, and we can only do so much in the housing market itself. We certainly don't want to be bringing on unsustainable homeownership, housing activity. I think we're in a position here where we have to be, the market is not pulling, the housing market is not a negative at this moment. It's not a positive, it's not negative. If it turns negative, there certainly will be a relook at these alternatives, absolutely.
All right, Susan, thank you for joining us today and giving your insights from that key summit.